The Digital Scene Show is sponsored by Light Panels, makers of the world-renowned Emmy Award-winning green-friendly LED lighting systems. Check them out at lightpanels.com. Tim Smith, welcome to the Digital Scene Show here at HD Expo 2009.
It's good to be back.
And yeah, that's right. I videotaped you at the Collision Conference, and back then we talked about the 5D.
Yes.
And we had a great conversation, and I remember you telling me something is coming up, but I can't tell you. And I think a couple of days later, the 7D came out.
I think I hinted to that because it was really a couple hours later almost.
Or maybe it was
really introduced the day after we finished that. But this is the camera we were kind of hinting at, the 7D.
That's right.
Which is our newer, lower priced piece, recording full HD. This one's coming in at about $1,700. So it's about $1,000 less than the 5D Mark II, which was hugely popular. But it's still recording high definition video as well as giving you stills with an APS-C sensor, which is a little bit smaller than the sensor of a 5D.
So it's got a crop factor.
So it's got a crop factor of 1.6, but you still get that great shallow depth of field, the high definition video. One of these things about this is it's coming in at 24 frame or 60i. So you've got different
and I think that was the big complaint with the 5D, right? At least from digital film cinematographers. They wanted the 24.
Right. It made the 24, being able to shoot on the 5D at native 24 would make their job a lot easier because of the post issues.
Sure.
And I can actually tell your viewers now, we will have a firmware upgrade to go 24 frame on the 5D early next year.
Okay, so they just
So we're going to have 24 frame on all of them. You'll have the 7D with 24 frame, an additional firmware upgrade on the 5D for 24 frame, and on the new camera that we're just announcing this week, the 1D Mark IV is also 24 frame, 25 frame, 60i, 720 at 60p as well. So it's got a lot of choices.
Very cool. We'll get to the 1D in a second, but getting back to this, are you losing any shallow depth of field with a smaller crop factor?
Sure, yeah, you do. That's just the physics of the chip. The larger the chip, the shallower depth of field. Well, the 5D has a very sliver type of shallow depth of field. I can be in focus on the tip of my nose and out on the eye with the right lens. This one will give you a little greater depth of field, but it'll still give you that soft background. It gives you that film effect. I mean, there are digital cinema cameras out there like the Red that offer a chip in this size, and that effect is still there. The 5D is just so extreme in terms of the depth of field that people really got excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. And you said how long can you record on the 7D?
So 7D is going to have the same recording times as the 5D and the new one. It'll be a 4 gig limit, which is about 12 minutes depending on the compression.
And still variable bit rate?
Variable bit rate, yep, with 50 being the high end.
30 in the low end?
30 to 50, depending on the subject.
I see. And the lenses, you can use anything like from the 20D, 30D, 50D? Any of the EOS, not the APS-C sensors, but the larger sensor ones. So on this one, you've got probably 80 lenses that we currently make, and then when you add in the legacy lenses that we don't make but are still this mount, we probably got over 100 lens choices on these for the 7D. So and during video recording, you can control the exposure manually, correct?
During video control, right. Once you start recording, your autofocus is defeated, but you can actually make some adjustments to your exposure. So.
Okay, but can you do manual focus? You can, right? No problem?
You manual focus during recording, but not autofocus.
But not autofocus.
That's true on all three of the models.
I see. Okay. Now let's get back to the 1D. What's great about the 1D versus the 7D now?
Well, the 1D is our flagship piece as far as still cameras go. It is our industrial piece, metal construction, high-end. It's a $5,000 camera. It's always been our highest piece, used by mostly pros, but we'll also shoot some great video. Now that's a little different size chip. You have the full-size chip of the 5D, 35 millimeter with a 1:1 ratio. You have the 7D, which is a 1.6 crop factor, or now the new one, the 1D Mark IV, which is a 1.3 crop factor.
So it's in between
the two, but the low light properties of the Mark IV are stunning.
What's the ISO rated, the highest?
6400.
60, no noise?
It'll go up to over 100,000 ISO. You can successfully shoot at 6400. So anything below that is a piece of cake. But you're seeing a very clean, acceptable image all the way to 6400 ISO, which is crazy good.
That's only on the 1D though?
It's only on the 1D. You won't get 6400 on
What about in the 7D, acceptable ISO?
In my opinion, I wouldn't go above 2000.
So 2000. Now, does that include also on the video side of it?
I'm only talking on the video side. When you're on the still side, you've got noise reduction things on the still side where you can shoot stills all day at 6400.
Oh, wow.
You can introduce more noise all the way up to 100,000 ISO and light your entire room with an iPod.
Right.
But you know, it depends on the look you want in the image.
Sure, definitely.
That's great. Now, if people want to find out more about any of these cameras, the URL again.
Sure. Everything is on our website now at www.canon.com. So.
And before I let you go, is there going to be an AD in 2 hours?
Now, you know what, this time, there's nothing in my pocket that I'm itching to tell you.
Sure, right?
We're good. Let's just, everybody relax through Christmas. It's time to enjoy the season and start shooting with these things.
Fantastic, Tim. Good to see you again.
Very nice to see you. See you at the next one.
Yep.